Welcome to the Third Degree Masonic Podcast, where we are always on the level. We're your hosts. I'm Brother Samuel.
I'm Brother Gabriel.
And I'm Brother Ryan.
And we're just a bunch of Masons trying to find our place in this fraternity. Welcome back, craftsmen, to the show. We have something really fun for you, and for once, I don't have a clue about what it is.
Gabe and I kind of took the reins from you because you were a little bit busy and decided to make an episode without you. And I mean, I don't know about you, Gabe, but the episode you guys are about to listen to, I was wowed at every turn. Everything was a left turn. Like, you're like, oh, I see where this is going. Oh, no. Oh, he did that also. Oh, can't get worse or better than that. Oh, he also did that. Oh,
yeah, this is going to definitely be one of those don't judge a book by its cover kind of moments, but not because of necessarily the reasons you may think of, more so of like, you see, like, to me, what is basically the Masonic version of Clark Kent turning into Superman.
Wow.
It's pretty wild, some of the stuff that Brother Dunn has been part of, and Brother Dunn also the experience.
Just awe-inspiring to think of how small our world actually is, considering like he's had we've kind of crossed paths.
We don't want to spoil it, but there's actually a really, really interesting story that the listeners are going to hear about just kind of making the world seem super interconnected and super small. So it's almost beautiful, poetic, I think.
Wow. I'm kind of really looking forward to this because I have no clue what
this episode is definitely going to fit our traveling man theme.
I love it.
100%.
I love it.
Yes, I think Matt fits that to a T. Like, it's very much like, yep, traveling man in the dictionary. Oh, and there's Matt.
Cool.
So,
well, I look forward to listening to it and going on this journey with the listeners. Craftsmen, if you do get a free moment, down below you will find a link to our merchandise store. Anything you buy, our profits from that will go to the Genoa Lodge Grand Officer Fund. And on that note, let's just jump right into current Maryland Freemason and soon-to-be Ohio Freemason, Brother Matt Dunn.
And welcome, craftsmen, to the Third Degree Masonic Podcast. Joining us today is Brother Matt Dunn, who is originally from St. Columba Lodge number 150 in the jurisdiction of the Grand Lodge of Maryland, but now resides here in Genoa with us. So welcome to the show, Brother Matt.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's start off with the basics. How long have you been a Mason?
Initiated 5 years, raised 4 years. It took a while since COVID kind of got in the way of everything.
Yeah, that's still fresh in our minds. So you came in right before COVID or during COVID?
January 2020, I was initiated.
oh, wow. So yeah, you had 3 months before it got real.
January 2020, I was initiated. I attended a meeting. I started doing my studying for the first catechism. Got to see another entered apprentice degree, and then literally the next meeting we went dark.
Oh, shit.
So it was like, I don't know. And then like my next lodge interaction, I think was 2-3 months later, when they were like, hey, we're going to do this online meeting and not like a real meeting, just like we haven't seen each other. And so it was like, hi guys, I kind of know you. I'm here with my cigar.
Yeah. In my living room with a webcam. This is weird.
Those were some fascinating days. It's good to hear that other jurisdictions did at least attempted to do some virtual connection during that time too, because I know it was real rocky for us too, trying to get business done and trying to get things taken care of.
So you said you joined a few months later, obviously COVID and stuff happened, and you witnessed an entered apprentice degree.
Right.
So without giving too much details away, when did you give your first give back? Was that online or was that
It was.
person?
Yeah. So
Really?
So what we did was the brother who was initiated that I got to watch, after a few months, we were able to meet online and use a private meeting room. And then with our mentor, the three of us were studying, and then we were able to actually get together again. So we would go to his garage and we would stand there and go through everything over and over again. And then eventually the Grandmaster at Maryland said, I'll go ahead and accept through Zoom. I'll accept it. And so we went to his garage and set up the laptop, and the three of us stood in front of the laptop, and there were, I don't even know how many, because I was so focused on what I was doing. But I think there were like 50 people on that call, all like guys from the lodge.
Wow.
But I can't, because the Entered Apprentice degree exam is known for being the most nerve-wracking, because it's the very first full step.
Right.
And to be in a situation where you're not even in the lodge that you were initiated,
Right.
and you have no clue on how many people are just watching you and like taking notes.
No idea how many people watched, and all I could see was the Grandmaster there, who I'm like, the Grandmaster, I don't, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we did everything, and then he was like, hey guys, great job. You're passed. Like,
That's
you're proficient.
That's incredible. I don't think Ohio let anything like that happen during COVID, as far as I know.
I know a few things about inspections that I can't share on record. But as far as I know, there was a lot of lodges that went virtual. Like Northern Light went virtual. Bowling Green, I believe, went virtual. I don't think we did.
Yeah,
like virtual for COVID, not virtual like, hey, they no longer meet in person.
Yeah, I don't remember doing any official minuted business for Genoa over Zoom. Right? We did a bunch of education sessions and a bunch of like get-togethers on Tuesdays with Zoom, but none of it was official, whereas other lodges had official business. But I'm glad that you got to experience something like that as one of your first Masonic experiences. So you're a relatively newer Mason. You've got some seasoning and experience to you, but compared to some of the other guys you've met here, you're a little newer. So when did you first learn about Masonry? What did you see or hear at the time, just pre-COVID, that really made you want to investigate it?
Well, so it goes way back to when I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13. I specifically remember seeing the 2B1 Ask One on like a license plate or a license plate frame.
Yep.
And I was driving with my mom, and my mom, I'm like, what do you think that means, Mom? And she's like, oh, that's Mason's. Your great grandfather was a Shriner and Mason. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And that kind of was it. And then throughout, I was in the military for a long time, and we were always different places, and I'd meet different people, and I'd see like a guy who had all the different emblems on the back. And it's like, oh, hey, are you a Mason? Oh, yeah, I am. Ooh, what do you do? And he'd tell me a little bit, but like, I'm somewhere that's not my home, and like, okay, cool, but I can't really look into it.
Yeah.
And then 2019, I had injured myself. I was home for a long time. And so I was like, doing a lot of reading and watching documentaries and different stuff. And somehow I found myself back at Masonry, and I went, there's got to be, so I've seen the square and compasses around. There's got to be lodges around here. And so I looked into it and ended up finding St. Columba. It was right down the road for me, and met with those guys, and probably visited 8-9 times before I like actually got initiated. I was really like, is this something I want to do? I don't know any of these guys, but like, is this a good fit? Like, don't just run in and here's my petition, I want to join.
Yeah.
Like, what's kind of going on?
What do you
do I
guys
get
actually
along with
do?
these guys? What are you
Like,
actually doing? And right from the get-go, it was just like almost like I'd known some of those guys like for a long time already, and we just started swapping stories, and I was like, yeah, I think I'd like to know more, and so here's my petition, and let's go forward.
I really love that, because honestly, that's the best way to do it, is to not just run in straight away with your petition, is actually like hang out with the guys, make sure you mesh well. I mean, here at Genoa, I had known a lot of these guys through DeMolay
Right.
already. Brother Faust, that's what he did. Like for like 6 months straight, he was coming to Brotherhood events and hanging out with the guys, learning to meet them. And it just blossomed from there. And it's so amazing to hear a story like that come from another state's jurisdiction, because that really touches on what we're talking about right now, which is the idea of traveling and the idea of experiencing the brotherhood anywhere and everywhere. So one thing I want to ask you to kind of pick your brain a little bit is, when did you first hear the idea of being a traveling man? Once you became initiated, like when was the first time you heard someone say that to you, or say that you should be a traveling man? Or when was the first time someone asked you, are you a traveling man?
So I think the first time it was brought up in like an actual Masonic context was right after I'd been initiated. So the night I was initiated, I think it was the entire line of 2 neighboring Prince Hall lodges were there, as well as like once we got done with everything and I looked around, the lodge room was just packed with guys who'd come from other lodges and stuff. And so I already kind of knew there's this, let's go to this lodge and see what they're doing, and let's go to this lodge and see what they're doing. And so then the worshipful master of, I think it was Beehive Lodge, had stood up and said, we're doing an entered apprentice degree in like 2 weeks, and you would be more than welcome to come join us. And then the guys from my lodge were like, I'm not sure. It was like, as long as like I was here, I saw that everything went down, and as long as you're with him to show him what he needs to do, he can
comb the ropes.
And unfortunately, I really wish I could have gone, but unfortunately I had work that evening and I couldn't make it work out. But looking back, it's something I wish I had been able to go do and start that traveling to other lodges like right then, 2 weeks into being a brand new Mason.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that that's something that was fostered in you like almost immediately. And honestly, hearing that story from you, it makes me think that maybe the emphasis should be more on the entered apprentice degree. I don't no, hear me out. Hear me out here for a second. Is that
before I throw it down?
Yeah. Is that if we want to engage candidates and make Masons want to be part of this fraternity immediately from the beginning, why not do something like that, where Prince Hall lodges come and multiple other lodges come for your first experience of it, and then that way you experience a little, like a nice slice of the view of the fraternity, and then as you become a fellow craft, it becomes focused a little bit more, and then the emphasis of the Master Mason degree is obviously what the Master Mason degree is for you as a Mason, but then it's also very almost private with you and your lodge brothers directly at that lodge. So your Master Mason connection is directly to your lodge, but your first experience as an entered apprentice in the fraternity is the fraternity as a whole.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to look at that. And I think that was a great first thing for you to be able to see that, and to be able for your lodge to say, this is a new entered apprentice. Let's include him in traveling. Let's take him with us. Let's go see this next degree in a couple weeks.
I agree with you that like it should be an apprentice. You have a lodge filled to the brim, and for the most part, the lodges try to do that. It is up to the worshipful master, secretary, and the officers of the lodge when they know they're having an entered apprentice degree is to get all the surrounding lodges to come. And so that when they initiate that candidate and they see the full lodge, that is up to those brothers. Unfortunately, kind of like what Brother Dunn said, is time comes into play. And a lot of people are like, I can't, I got to work, or so-and-so lodge is having this, and I'm hosting, so I got to be there and stuff. Now, traveling around, I would disagree with not necessarily pushing down the entered apprentice, but like presenting it, because the entered apprentice just took their very first step into masonry. There's a lot. Remember the church, remember the lecture. It is a beep ton. I'm censoring myself. You should be proud of myself. On my ways away, I'm learning to not swear as much.
Thank you for keeping yourself in due bounds with certain stuff there.
I'm trying. But there's a lot. And to add, hey, we know you just learned all this. We know you just learned the working tools. Now we want you to learn how to travel. It's like you already just filled that candidate's plate. And now you're like, here, juggle this second full plate.
Fair
also.
enough. But that's what I think a good mentor comes in.
Yes.
Is a good mentor can help that candidate balance that. And if the mentor is like, are you available here because we can use this as a study opportunity? Well, we're traveling to this lodge for you to see the degree you just experienced again from a different perspective. Let's also do some studying and some reinforcement and some education on the way there.
To add to that, like I said, I went through with another brother after I had watched him be initiated, and we had gone dark right after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we started studying, he had never stepped foot in a lodge except for that initiation. And he'd never really seen from the side what just a regular meeting looked like. And so we had to try to communicate at first through Zoom without even really being able to see each other. Like, these are the ways you were being moved and that sort of thing.
That's
right?
Very hard without, okay, Gabe, move over here.
Right.
Like, it's like, okay, let me try and explain it to a screen.
Right. It was tricky, and then it was really good that we were able to meet in a small group of the three of us, at least, to, not be in a lodge room, but still be able to go through some of those things so he could see,
learn the ropes,
and learn what was happening. And actually, the last time I saw him, he was the lodge treasurer. So,
wow.
Nice.
Yeah. Good for him. Good for him.
So then, kind of moving on to the next question that we have for you. So obviously your start was very unique, very like, holy cow. Is there another memory or something that you remember being a Mason that really just sticks out to you, that whenever someone's like, what's your favorite memory about being a Mason, that you automatically go to this?
There's two, honestly.
Okay.
There's two that pop out. So the first one would be my fellowcraft degree, because we were still in COVID times, and they were the worshipful master and the officers were talking about, well, we want to do a low veil. We want to do a low veil. And I was like, I don't even know what they're talking about, but this sounds like a unique thing, right? And it ended up being like out in a barn and just a very small group, kind of like you were just talking about. And the Grand Master was there, and so I was able to actually meet him that time. And it was just like, just this small group and just a totally different thing, and it sticks in my brain. But the other one that sticks in my brain is I was out in Kansas, living out there for a while, and I had met up with the local lodge there, and I think I'd been to 1 or 2 meetings with them, and they added me to their email list and all that, like right away. Just like, we know you're staying here for a little while, so we're gonna add you to the email list. You all that stuff, and they welcomed me. Like the first time, they just welcomed me like I was part of their own lodge. And so probably a month later, I get an email saying we need people to fill positions for an entered apprentice degree. And I was like, I'm not from your jurisdiction, but if you need somebody, I can at least do like a steward role.
Yeah.
And they replied back immediately and were like, yes. So
That's awesome.
So I was a junior steward in one of their entered apprentice degrees and didn't really know all their ritual, but knew enough that I could do that. And the part to me that really sticks out is their senior steward was actually from Missouri. And so he was like, he knew Missouri ritual, and we'd never really met each other. And we took the candidates and we went back to prepare the candidates. And we're both like, okay, so you're going to do this and do this. And here's how you get prepared. And, oh, by the way, my name's Brother Matt. And like, it's nice to meet you. And we're just trying to get to know each other while we're also preparing the candidate. And it was just like,
that's incredible.
this is brotherhood right here.
That is.
That is. It is so amazing that we've started this next question on the podcast of traveling, and you are, I don't mean to keep saying this, but a younger, experienced Mason, but you have already some amazing traveling experiences, more than some Masons who have been here for 10 years.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking, like, as you're telling, top notch to like memory like things to just be like, yep, that's amazing. From going from the first step into pretty much the fraternity and COVID, to the second step in a barn with your lodge members, and then all of a sudden different state, being a steward for a different jurisdiction. That's just like, that's the definition of traveling. Like, I'm just like, so happy.
It really is. So normally we set this question up a little bit more, so I guess I'll just lead in with it.
All right.
What would you define a traveling man as? What does that mean to you?
I think his answer is just his life. I think the episode's done 20 minutes in. That was the shortest episode ever. Jeez. But I am curious.
I think it's a multifaceted question. Yeah, you could say my Masonic experience so far, right? I have traveled and been, but I also don't think I've been to as many places and helped out in as many different lodges as I could. Like, I'd like to go visit more lodges and see how things are done in other grand lodges, and also just here in Ohio. Like, I'm still trying to learn what happens in Genoa Lodge.
We're still trying to learn,
right? And I did actually sit in a meeting with Pemberville, but it happened in Genoa Lodge, so that was a little bit of odd traveling, I guess.
It's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it was really. I was a visitor and a visitor. But I also think it's like, there's going out and being with your brothers and learning different things and helping them in the lodge aspect, but also as I move about in my life, I have my ring, I have my symbol on the back of the car, I've got my hoodies, and they're not really to show other people like, hey, look, this guy's amazing. It's to remind me, like, as I'm out and about in the world, like, I am not only representing myself and my family, but I represent all my brothers too in the fraternity, and just try and be like good and a good representative of that. And so there's like Masonic traveling within the fraternity, and then traveling out and about in the world and being a good representative. I think that's my answer.
I love that answer. I think that's so refreshing to hear from from you, from someone who originally started in another jurisdiction, and now we're fortunate enough to have you here with us. And if I may, this is going to be your residency in Ohio is going to be for the foreseeable future permanent, right?
Yes.
So I'm glad that that you've put in a application for, I'm sorry, I always get this wrong. Is it plural membership or dual membership because he's a member of another jurisdiction?
Plural is within Ohio. Dual is outside.
Okay.
Don't worry. I had to learn that too, and I submitted the wrong application the first time around. And I was like, shit.
You're the greatest secretary ever, Ryan. So, but no, it's amazing to have you. We're so glad to have you. So will you tell us the story about what brought you to Ohio?
Sure.
It kind of ties into some of our questions we had to get to know you a little bit about your profession and everything else.
Coming into Ohio as a whole, in general.
Yeah, tie it with fraternity, tie it with work.
Okay.
If you want to just give the footnotes version, that's fine.
If you want to give out your social security number and credit card.
Yeah, so that's
fine too.
Social Security is 1, 2, 3,
okay,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just go ahead. Go ahead. Date of birth is we're good. No, so I mentioned it earlier. I was in the Air Force for 21 years. I joined in 2002. And that same year I met my wife, who wasn't yet my wife, but that same year I met my wife in Texas while I was in training. And she is from Genoa. And so the following year...
I'm in back. Yeah, I got him.
So like the following years, I was finishing up training before I moved to Japan for 2 years. I came to Genoa for the first time to meet her family, meet her parents and all of her brothers and sisters, and spent probably a week here. And then we got married the following year, and so I was back and forth to Genoa in and out over the years, to visit family and stuff. But that was like the only Ohio tie I had. But so... her growing up here, a year and a half ago, her mom had gotten pretty sick and ended up passing away. And so we at the time I had just retired. We could kind of go anywhere we wanted to. And so we made the decision, like, let's move back to Ohio and to Genoa and be near her dad, because all of her other brothers and sisters have moved, and then we're close to him. We can help out with the house, and it's probably at this point maybe a little better for our kids to grow up in a smaller town than where we were in Maryland. And so here we are now. And then coming to the lodge, it actually ties right into how we got here. So, my mother-in-law had been getting sick, and she'd had a surgery, and she had started to recover, and then things had started to go downhill. And I was out in Kansas, and my wife called and said, "You need to come. Things aren't looking good." So I jumped in the car. I think it was like 6 a.m. I got in the car, started driving. Got here 8-9 hours later, or whatever the drive is. Stopped like once to put more gas in the car and
keep going.
And, she came from Maryland with the kids, and we met here and said hi and went to bed, and got up the next day and woke up to a phone call saying, "Come to Cleveland. You need to be to the hospital. Things are really not good."
Yeah.
And so on the way to Cleveland, I was like, I need a cup of coffee. Like, with everything else going on, I need my cup of coffee in the morning. My wife's like, I need my cup of coffee. And we probably should feed the kids. Maybe. Yeah. So,
sorry.
Yeah. I mean, They
Might
like,
as well.
they do like to eat.
Yeah,
You know,
they kind of need food to keep living.
and if I'm gonna stop and get coffee, I might as well feed the kids.
Yeah.
So we just boop over to the McDonald's in Genoa, right? And I just get my stuff, and we placed our order. I think my wife had even gone back out of the car, and I was just standing inside waiting, and I think I was waiting on the coffees, and the manager, it's like, oh, hey, here's your coffees. How did he say it? He's like, oh, hey, here's your coffees, brother. Have a good day. And I was like, huh? Sorry.
There's no way.
It is.
Oh, it is.
It is who you're
is.
thinking of.
And I was like, oh. Okay. And I happened to have my lodge hoodie on. And so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, well, what lodge you from? And he's like, oh, Genoa Lodge. And I was like, there's a Genoa Lodge? I've been visiting this town for 22 years. And I was like, there's Genoa Lodge? Oh, I didn't know that. Well, hey, have a great day, brother. I'll see you later. And so I was just like, hey, there's a brother there who I had a quick little interaction with in all of this like dark stuff that's happening right
Yeah.
And
This dark chaos, like quick, like
I'm just gonna tuck that away, and like the next time we come back to Genoa, I should go visit them since I've been in and out so much. And then, long story short, we moved here, and so I was like, I should go down to the lodge since I know there's a lodge here. And I actually came down one night, and the meeting had been called off, and so I was like, oh, anybody here? Knock, knock. No, nobody's here, you know. Oh, well, all right. Well, I'll come back next time. And a couple of months went by, and we ended up over at the Shriner Circus. And I was like hanging out there, and my wife pointed out, hey, that guy's got a Genoa Lodge polo on. You should go talk to him. And I was like, I should, but like, we're doing our thing right now.
Yeah.
Give me, right? And so anyway, we see the Sirs. It was great. Get done, and I see this guy. He's got a big old beard, and I'm like, he's got a Genoa Lodge polo on. Well, let me go say hi. So I was like, hey, brother, introduced myself and said, I just moved to Genoa a couple months ago. I was looking to come to the lodge when you guys meet. And he's like, oh, can I get your phone number? Can I get your name? I'm going to put it in, and I'm going to let the secretary know you're in town, and I'll text you about the next meeting. And the next thing I know, he's like, yeah, I've given him all your info. And I was like, well, I've got to go to the meeting now.
Yeah. I'm committed now.
That has to happen. And so I show up, and Ryan's here, and I'm like, hey, I'm Matt. Ricky said to come here, and you're like, yeah, here's your petition. I've already got everything filled out, and we've got it all squared away. I just need to check your dues card, but everything's squared away. So welcome to Genoa, and that's how I ended up at Genoa Lodge.
Incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
So, Ricky like was texting me while he was talking to you. Hey, I have a brother here from. Can you look this up? And I was like, no. I was like, maybe Mark can't. Dude, I just became secretary. I don't have all these powers.
I was going to say, yeah, you had just been installed as secretary.
And he's like, well, who do I contact? I'm like, give me his name, his phone number, an email address, what lodge he's from, the number, and I'll figure it the frick out.
Yeah.
And so that's probably why he was like, I need all these information and stuff. And then, I think afterwards he called me, and he's like, he's really interested. He's going to be at the next meeting. Can you have this all done? I was like, no,
Right.
I can have it started. So that's just, I'm sorry. I know you know the story. I didn't realize it's such a small world, because you're describing, oh, I need to get my coffee. I'm not thinking like, oh, you went to McDonald's, and then you're like, yeah, we stopped at McDonald's. I was like, in my head, before you even got to it, I was like, what's the chances he met Dustin?
Yeah.
And then I thought, what's the chances that my wife was working there too?
She might have been.
But then I was like, no, he wouldn't have seen her because she liked the grill area, so she never dealt with customers. And then for him to be like, oh, I'll get your coffee, it's like, what the actual heck? That is a small world.
It's also so strange to think about the fact that you were visiting this area before you even knew there was a lodge here.
Yeah.
So we may have encountered each other at some point.
Yeah,
and never knew it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's so amazing because this goes into something we always talk about all the time about brothers in the wild and conducting yourself as a Mason. Even as you said earlier, when traveling outside of the lodge, all a brother had to do was be nice and give you a cup of coffee.
Yeah. And just, I mean,
Yes, it wasn't a free cup of coffee. Yeah, you had paid for it. It wasn't like he came up to you and bought you a drink or something. He was just doing his job. But at the same time, it was the friendly gesture, friendly word of a brother.
Just a simple sentence.
In a time where you and your family are dealing with something horrific and something that is an unfortunate reality of life to have to deal with, but that still doesn't make it any nicer.
Right.
And in all of that darkness, there is a Masonic light that you may not have clung to exactly in the moment, but it was enough of a light that blossomed into what you are now here at Genoa as one of my favorite members. So,
well, thanks.
And to be honest, thinking about it a little bit more, I don't think you could have met a better Mason at the circus to incorporate Genoa Lodge than Ricky. Ricky,
he is the main act of the circus.
He can talk to anyone. He somewhat loves to talk, and I know he's listening to this, and he's like, probably, shut up. But like, he will sit there, talk to you. He will get to know you. He is a Mason through and through, and he's Ricky. He is, you were right with the beer and stuff.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh, he looks like a teddy bear. He looks friendly. I'll go up and talk to him and stuff. And he's not shy about being like, oh, yeah, here's the flyer. Get out of my face. He'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, where are you coming from? How are you doing? And it's just like, I feel like by the end of this episode, I'm not going to know anything because I'm just in shock the whole way.
It's so incredible to hear this story from you, because not only are your experiences with your lodge brothers in Maryland similar to the types of experiences we have here with our brothers, but you have literally taken that and experienced it in Maryland, in Kansas, in Ohio, with even before you were in the fraternity with other members of the fraternity in the military. It's we are looking for experts in the field of traveling men. And I think we have found another expert in the field of traveling men, whether you'll admit it or not.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
You're quite humble on that, but no, I have to say there is, because some people have to. It's a learned skill.
Yeah.
To be part of this fraternity and to be really integrated into the spirit of the brotherhood, but some people apparently come to it naturally very well.
Yeah.
So it's impressive.
So we've heard your story, and it's shocking. At every turn is just like, holy cow. Next thing you're going to tell me is you're like, yeah, I was in California and met that Grand Lodge, and I went to England.
Spoilers, people, spoilers.
I'm actually a 33rd degree member, but through all your journeys, all your history, obviously you've seen all the goods, maybe some of the bads. What does being a Mason mean to you?
See, that's a tricky one, right?
I'm waiting for this twist.
Waiting for the twist. I think it boils down to, for me, remembering to be a good person.
Okay.
Is what it boils down to. It's like
kind of like what you were saying earlier with the bumper, or not the bumper sticker, but the emblem, like not just being like, oh, hey, I'm representing me and my family. I'm representing my brothers, my fraternity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, being a good person and everything that comes along with that, and
holding yourself to the higher.
Holding myself, to
gotcha.
Have integrity, do the right thing when people aren't looking, and just like be a good guy. I try.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah. Well,
I like that. So
I think that's a perfect wrap to our first half of this interview. If you want to keep going, I'm still in shock, and I need a breather.
I do too. So, Craftsman, thank you for joining us on this stellar interview so far. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll get right back to the interview.
If you're in the market for even more Masonic content, check out our brothers from 357 Studio. Enjoy this short message from their host.
At Studio 357 Masonic Podcast, we consider ourselves to be the blue-collar Masons. We're not professionals, we're not very well-spoken, but we are 100% genuine in every show that we put out. Every Mason has a story, and we want to help tell it. We are available in video versions on YouTube and Spotify, and audio versions just about everywhere else. Please follow us on our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We hope to see you on our show. Travel well, my brothers.
And welcome back to the Third Degree Masonic Podcast, Craftsman. Joining us again is Brother Matt Dunn. Matt Dunn, welcome back, brother.
Good to be back.
So, the second half of the interview is going to kind of tie a few things together, as well as kind of getting your opinions on a few things. So we've really enjoyed a lot of your stories and a lot of your experience so far. So I just want to tie into our traveling question of, if you were going to give advice to a new Mason about traveling, what type of advice would you give them, or how would you want them to go about traveling?
Take somebody with you who knows what they're doing.
Don't try it alone.
Don't try it on your own, because I made that mistake, and it worked out great. But when I went to Kansas, like I was talking about, the first time I went, it was sort of a spur of the moment. Like I emailed them ahead of time, but I was like, I haven't been to lodge in, I don't know, 6 months, and I need some adults to talk to. I need some brothers to talk to, and I'm just gonna go show up. And I had totally forgotten about like the Tyler's Oath and some of that stuff, and they were asking me, and I was like, yeah, I've heard of that. I totally didn't bring my little blue book with me that has it in it, so I can't tell you what it is.
You did say you emailed them, or so you didn't just show up blindly and they're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Like Sam and Ricky did in Gettysburg.
Yeah, I wasn't completely blindsiding them by showing up, but
I can just imagine what was going through their heads. Like, okay, give me the Tyler. So yeah, I definitely know that. Ooh, they're on to me. Give me out.
I need to review that, because I want to do so much traveling, and yet I would literally stand there like a deer in headlights, and I'm a past master.
right.
And I need to get my stuff together, because I need to remember how to do that.
Yeah.
The problem is we're all so familiar with each other in this district. We all know each other.
Right.
And even outside of our district, people either know the people we're traveling with, or have heard of us before, or we're friends on Facebook or something. So when you go traveling around this district or around Northwest Ohio, it is very, oh, well, we already know you. You're on the up and up and everything already. So, and I assume there's some of that in Maryland too.
It was the same thing in Maryland.
Yeah. So that's kind of goes to what it is, though. I mean, it's always good to practice, though. So we're going to have to, in the future, make sure we practice that for traveling, specifically for traveling, since we all want to do a little bit more.
So, but okay, so you recommend traveling with a brother that knows you and knows where you're going.
What
and
they're doing.
obviously, like, giving the lodge that you're visiting a heads up and not just being like our brothers Sam and Ricky and knocking on the front door and going, yeah, they're going to let us in. Is there anything else you recommend to new travelers, I'll say? If not, it's fine. I know that's kind of a loaded question.
Well, I could take your question more than one way.
Hey, we
Right.
like multiple answers.
So, if you're thinking about being a new traveler, just knock on the door, which kind of goes counterintuitive to what I just said.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking about it, just knock and take that first step.
Okay.
But on the other side, if you've already done that part and you're looking to expand your experience, find somebody to go with and then just get out there, pick a place and go.
And I would almost argue that is knocking at the door. Is the very first step is finding someone to go with. Hey, I want to go to so-and-so lodge. Are you okay going? I feel like you know a lot more than me. You can vouch for me. You can help me find the ropes.
Right.
Not just knocking on the front door. So it is somewhat knocking, but you're kind of knocking on someone else. Like, hey, I need help. I'm a brother in need. Can you help me?
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
So, in a couple previous episodes, we've talked about like Masonic landmarks and cool Masonic events that you've been a part of.
Uh-huh.
In your travels, have you seen or been to any of the really cool Masonic monuments or places like the George Washington Memorial or the, what is that in Detroit? The Detroit Masonic Complex that Mark is always talking about.
It escapes me right now.
The Grand Lodge in New York, I hear, is amazing.
So I Tylered and entered apprentice degree in a lodge room at the George Washington Memorial.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really cool. It was an awesome room to be
Did
in.
you also know George Washington? Like, I'm just,
I can neither
Everything's
confirm
a
nor
left turn
deny
here.
any statements made regarding this subject at this or any other time.
like, wow.
But yeah, I was able to. I actually, when I showed up, I didn't know I was going to be Tylering that night. I just knew I was going to a degree there
Yeah.
with our lodge. Like, we had arranged to be able to use a room that night. And when I showed up, they said, "Hey, Matt, can you tile tonight?" And I said,
That's incredible.
and so yeah, it was a very cool experience.
I wish I had gotten to do something that cool.
So I got asked, just hearing all these amazing stories, because I can only imagine in my shoes, hey, I really want to visit these lodges. I really want to go there. What is your, I'll call it a bucket list. What is the places you want to go to, the things you want to experience? Because it sounds like you've experienced a lot. You've experienced a broad journey.
I'd like to go to UGLE, go to Mason's Hall in England and like see how they do it over there, because that's different.
Yes.
It's the same, but it's just like every jurisdiction here in the States. It's the same, but it's different. So I'd kind of like to see how it.
We got to talk to
goes
Mark
over
and
there.
Charlie and see when the next time they're going.
Well, I want to someday get a trip together because my bucket list is to go to the Grand Lodge in Tokyo. That's the one on my bucket list, the one that MacArthur went to, that has a lot of members that are part of it.
Yeah.
I want to go to that one. That's gonna be on my Masonic bucket list, is to go to the Grand Lodge in Tokyo before I die.
Well, besides over the pond,
Yeah.
is there anything in the United States, Canada, Mexico, where we could, hey, next summer, we're going to drive and have a weekend trip or a week trip and stuff? Is there anything in the United States that you'd love to see, love to be a part of, that kind of thing?
Honestly, I'd actually just like to learn more in lodge at home.
Okay.
And like I've sat in a couple chairs like I've talked about, but I'd like to just like learn
Like
Ohio,
ritual,
learn Ohio, and just like
learn what Genoa's about and that kind of stuff.
figure that out really.
Okay.
And then if something cool comes up, let me see if my work schedule works, and let's go check something out.
Yeah.
But like, I honestly just want to kind of learn Ohio and how things work, and just get more into Blue Lodge.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
It's about time we have an answer like that.
Yeah.
So, this has been, I mean, so far an amazing interview. So thank you, brother. And it's so interesting to hear your perspective, which is slightly different, but also so similar. And I mean, coming from a different state's jurisdiction, but you just fit in so well. And it's just, we keep going back to the same topic of the brotherhood being like the main core and the main focus, and the idea of the brotherhood that you can literally get anywhere you go. And brother, you are a example of that just by what you have experienced and what you are bringing to Genoa Lodge. It's just incredible.
Well, can I tell you what my wife told me?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
She said to me, this was several years ago, she said to me, "You have friends everywhere you go." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, everywhere we go, somebody sees that square and compass on your shirt or on your ring or whatever, and they come say hi, and you have a little conversation." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Like,
Yeah.
everywhere I go, I do have friends."
Yep.
And
I call them brothers, but
exactly.
Yeah.
and everywhere I go, I've got friends.
And I have a friendly face, a friendly person to go. And like, I know there's been a few functions we've had, and you've come around, and even from the get-go, it's like, you're just another one of the guys, like another one of the brothers.
You're another one of the brothers.
You've never been like, oh yeah, that's Matt. He kind of just joined Genoa Lodge. Like, we don't really know about. It's like,
no, this is Brother Dunn. Right. He's our brother.
Yeah.
He's here with brotherhood events being brother.
And then I remember, I think it was Genoa's homecoming, and we were having it, and you and your family were like going it, and then like maybe 10 minutes later you came back and you're like, my wife told me I could hang out with you guys. And we're all just like, yep. This is it now.
He is one of us.
Yep. Yeah.
There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this.
Yeah. So
I was going to ask you to give a short little blurb of how you would describe traveling to people, but I think that was perfect of I have friends everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And that is...
It's a good thing this podcast is scripted. Like, he's just reading the lines.
Oh, yeah. This was all pre-typed and pre-thought out. And every nuance and inflection is all just fake. It's all just radio magic, of course.
Yep.
Of course. There's no heart and soul. So, we normally have a whole bunch of... thought-provoking questions, but I think you've answered a lot of thought-provoking questions already.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about traveling, but to tie your interview up, since this video is about traveling and your history as a Mason.
This podcast is about, we're not videotaping this unless there's a secret camera in. I'm gonna shut up.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for bringing semantics to the table.
Oh boy.
So, if you find yourself encountering a young man wanting to join Lodge, or a brand new Mason, 50, 80, even 100 years from now, if you could communicate with those future Masons, what kind of advice would you give to them? What kind of things would you say to them? What would you want to foster in them to do?
Well, if someone was interested, I would say to go knock and find out for yourself. For that new Mason, I would say to uphold the tradition of brotherhood and continue to do the work the way it's always been done.
I like that. I love your responses because they're so short, sweet, and to the point, but also very like
it broadens your brain. Like you can take that so many ways, and you're like, wow, I never thought about it that way.
you can.
Like, and that's one of my favorite questions, because no matter how many times we've asked that questions to how many people, we always get different answers, and they're always just like, oh, that's new. Didn't think about it that way. But yours is just like, to Gabe's point, it's short, sweet, to the point, but it just, I'm gonna have to remember that. So,
And the final question to tie this all together
Okay.
that I always like asking our guests and our members doing interviews. Take those Masons that I was talking about, those Masons of the future. What would you want your legacy to be for them? Would you want them to think of you? Would you want them to see your face on the past masters board? Would you like your advice to be inscribed somewhere on the wall for them?
become a forever secretary or treasurer.
I think somebody's already got that job.
Yeah. Are you looking to take it over?
Not this week. Somebody's petition, that would be mine, needs to continue to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
But I mean, I'm sure people I knew would remember me in some capacity. Oh, Brother Matt, he showed up for things. I just heard that. But like, I'm just here trying to uphold the tradition and maintain brotherhood with other good people. And I probably won't have my picture up on the wall, and there'll be no quotes from me, and that's just fine, because my family and people I care about will still remember me. So, good enough.
I love that.
Good enough.
Because I feel that to my core. I will never have my name, my picture on that past mastery board. It's just not for me. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Just because you're a Mason does not mean you have to be a worshipful master.
No.
It does not mean you have to be an officer. You just have to be a good man.
Right.
And that's where that answer, it's nice, sweet, short, and perfect, in my opinion, because that is you. That is everything. You will leave giant waves in the ripples you do today.
And I think that was an amazing place to end that. Thank you, Brother Dunn. I really appreciate it. This has been an amazing interview. Craftsman, I hope you enjoyed this interview on the Third Degree Masonic podcast. And it's been a pleasure, Brother Dunn, having you on. So remember, Craftsman,
Keep your working tools in order and always be on the level.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast do not reflect those of the Grand Lodge of Ohio, its officers, or any of its jurisdictions. They only reflect those of the hosts or guests.